MultimediaJay Radio Style Theater presents the Duke Nukem Forever of Processors Remix, Redux, Reprise.
Nukem Forever of Processors. Nukem Forever of Processors.
MultimediaJay Radio Style.
When I heard Zen was coming out in October, I was so happy. I made plans to build the system, and now we heard that the Zen would be limited. Forget it. I'm not waiting 4 to 7 months until AMD releases anything at a good price range. I'm going i5. It's pretty obvious the Zen 8 core is not going to be $150. I think maybe $300, $400, and then $150 for the APU version when they launch. But yeah, I think it's about time AMD tried to make some money again.
The one thing I'm hoping for with the AMD Zen is that they get it right. I'd rather wait than have to rush out and buy half-baked products. The wait may be painful, but it'd be nice if AMD could hit it out of the park when the thing finally does launch.
Dudes on ships with big, loud foghorns love MultimediaJay Radio Style.
Bienvenidos! Welcome back, everyone, as MultimediaJay Radio Style goes into a segment 2 here on Sunday, December 4th, 2016, and we're getting away from talking about the podcast and YouTube problems to talk about the AMD Zen, even if it is en passant. So, first off, a little bit of unfinished business from last go-round. There is no YouTube app for Windows 10. What? Yeah, I got my platforms mixed up, apparently. I was thinking of the apps on all those other devices, including Android out there, but apparently I went looking through the Windows Store and I couldn't find a YouTube app. I really don't understand that. It's not like YouTube can't come up with some kind of use for the app with Windows 10 outside of always having to go to the darn web page. It's crazy. Dailymotion has an app in Windows 10, even though you can go to the web page. What's YouTube waiting for? Oh man, I never thought I'd say that these folks were falling behind the times, but like I mentioned earlier, there's two things I'm looking for an alternative to YouTube's subscription system that's had its issues in recent years. I'm looking for something similar to iTunes or Miro, where I can see my subscriptions, how many new something or anothers they've uploaded, and then go watch them without having to worry about website little glitches and stuff, making it so I can't see what I want to see, which I've heard goes on, and I've seen a bit of it myself with the YouTube version of what I'm looking for here. At the same time, I also want a Windows 10 app to integrate with the notification system and queue notifications for new videos. Now, there is an app that was recommended by actually the Twit folks. I think it's for Windows Weekly or something like that. But it's called PerfectTube, and it's available in the Windows Store, and I'm playing around with it. And yeah, the interface does not do the iTunes Miro thing that I was hoping that it would do. I can't see everything with a number next to it like I could if I played around with Feedly and a feed reader and an RSS reader with the export and extra list to maintain and all that extra effort that should not be necessary. However, PerfectTube functions as a push notification program that will queue notifications in the Windows 10 notification area. So I've already seen a new upload from Linus Tech Tips and now a new upload from Red Gaming Tech. And that second upload from Red Gaming Tech about the AMD Zen is why we're having this discussion. Now, the spoof you heard before we came back from the break was from my Duke Nukem Forever of Processors spoof that I did last summer, which seems so long ago with how this year has gone, but that's beside the point. The joke was that the AMD Zen has been hyped for so long at this point that it was turning sort of into the Duke Nukem Forever of Processors, even though we're not really talking about the kind of time period that we had with Duke Nukem Forever. It was just a funny, cutesy little joke at the time, and it made for a rather hilarious rather hilarious segment of the Random Style series, which I should probably get back to if I get some more really loopy ideas from out of left field. But the Duke Nukem reference was because of just how long it was taking to come out and things like that. Now, since then, I've built Monolith, which is powered by a Skylake 6700K, And I've been rather quiet about the AMD Zen speculation. Now, some folks may get the idea that I don't care about the Zen anymore just because I went Skylake and Monolith has worked just fine, thank you very much. If anything, I'm thinking maybe upgrade the graphics card, but there's a few problems with supply and demand shenanigans with the Pascal series cards that still price the 1070s above $400, and I'm not happy about that. That's another thing we can talk about later regarding the hype shortages thing. But I have not given up on the AMD Zen. Let's get that clear right now. The successor to the turd Shiba is probably going to be a mobile Zen laptop next year or the year after. With Monolith, I was looking for a desktop that cranked up the power when it was needed and then dropped down to laptop territory if possible, or near laptop territory if possible, when it wasn't doing anything too fancy. I have that with the Skylake. It drops down into the 30-watt range when it's not doing anything too fierce and intense, which is basically where laptops in 2010 were full blast back in those days. So I imagine the processors will only get more and more efficient from here on out, but it's leaps and bounds ahead of the Phenom 2 that I had last go-round. Now, as far as laptops go, in terms of portables, the next major milestone, it's only one letter away, Jay, get your pronunciations right. The next milestone I'm looking for with computers in general, never mind portables, is for a non-gaming laptop to be able to serve as a console replacement. As you all know, I'm not the biggest fan in the world of the concept of building a console replacement computer if you already have something with a little bit more horsepower to it, because there is zero concentrated coolness in such a build. The only way to justify deliberately having a weaker computer that can play games and little else, even if they're on low or medium mode, is portability for me at this point. If I went over, well, but even still, Monolith is lighter than its predecessor, and it's definitely more portable, so I could always take this system with me. But it's just the whole idea of being able to go on a business trip and having your gaming machine be carry-on with good battery life is just, you know, you're not going to get the kind of performance out of a laptop that you'd get out of a desktop. And even if you did, because you sank all that money into a garishly colored, overpriced gaming laptop, you lose the upgradability and how easy it is to troubleshoot when something isn't working right. I've seen some of these gaming laptops out there, and they're very, very niche, so to speak. I could not imagine myself having one of those things. I think if I were doing a lot more traveling for business, I would try to make do with a non-gaming laptop that had enough punch in the integrated graphics to run things on low mode. And let's face it, consoles as we know them are being forced into that kind of niche territory. They're either easy to use, inexpensive, or both. I still maintain those are the only reasons that those things even still sell. So what happens when a mobile device or a laptop starts to serve that purpose? That's going to be the swan song for consoles as we know them. Although the efficiency of some of what's coming out on the PlayStation 4 is very, very noteworthy. I've been very impressed with some footage that I've seen so far of Final Fantasy 15. And I'm very curious how efficient the engine's going to be when the PC version is put together. And I'll probably watch some more gameplays on Twitch to see just how good that game looks. But when you consider that the consoles are backed into a corner because of a lack of horsepower, but needing to keep the price down at the same time, it's very impressive what folks have done with the Xbox One and the PS4 in terms of squeezing what they can out of limited hardware. My hope is that when the mobile Zen comes to market, regular laptops will be able to do something similar, and you would only buy a gaming laptop if you wanted something similar to a desktop that you could fold up and take with you when you're going to conventions or things along those lines, LAN parties, what have you. But I think it's really the portability and power that would keep gaming laptops distinct. I'm mostly looking for portability, even if I have to play games on medium or low. There are some games out there, beginning with Skyrim 5 years ago, that still look decent when played in low mode. So maybe that's worth making some Twitch videos about, a low mode comparison or something like that, or make some kind of low mode gaming video of some sort and see if people really mind it too much. Because there are games out there that look pretty decent in low mode, and then there's the others that drop back to like PlayStation 2 graphics or something. The efficiency of graphics is something I am no stranger to. The original Guild Wars was pretty well known for that way back in the 2000s. That's beside the point though. Let's talk about the AMD Zen. I still care about the Zen, but I'm not going to say very much about it. Why? Because there's endless speculation right now, and that's all it is, speculation. Folks may chime in on the Zen and say, I think it's going to do this. The rumor says it's going to do that. And you know what they are? They're people that are just trying to get views. They're trying to get views when the reality is they know no more about the Zen than you and I do. And they're in the same boat that we are, but they're trying to make the best of a bad situation. The problem is, as entertaining as it is to sit around speculating, anybody can speculate. Most of you that are listening to this right now probably could make your own video speculating about the AMD Zen. You don't have to watch someone else's. So I'd go to all that trouble to let's talk about the Zen. I think it's going to do this. I think it's going to do that. And it's going to be useless in the long run. I say this because anybody remember the Xbox 720? Yes, that was the speculation name that I heard in numerous circles about the Xbox One before the Xbox One launched. Now, how many of you people have heard that since it launched? Did I jog your memory by saying Xbox 720? That's ultimately what happens to all this speculation content. The real deal comes out, we find out what exactly the product can do or don't do, people are either happy or sad, and the world moves on. So you'll have spent all that time with speculation and stuff for what? Some views? And that's it? The videos sit dormant afterwards, or maybe you laugh at them of, hey, I thought this product was going to be this, but it actually turned out to be that. Let's all have a laugh, even though the content is completely gonzo at this point. The AMD Zen is in the exact same boat. Just show me the chip already. Let's see the wattage tests. Let's see the performance tests. Let's see the mathematical tests. And let's see those tests with an exact version that you could buy on Newegg or off the shelf or whatever. If you have a computer store that sells processors or a micro center, you lucky bastards in other parts of the country. But let's see what people can actually build a computer with. Not an engineering sample, not some leak, not this, not that. What we're actually going to buy. Because what the customer can actually buy means something, and it's significant. Just harken back to the launch of Aliens Colonial Marines, if you want to know why that's such an important thing. Here's the thing. I could speculate about the Zen all day long. I don't have to watch some YouTuber get cheap views by I think the Zen's gonna do this. I think the Zen's gonna do that. Which is another way of saying, I know no more about the Zen than you do, but please watch me just do what you can already do by yourself. Some of this is some leadership stuff that I've been reading about when you're dealing with controversial issues and disciplining folks that work for you and things like that. You don't want to put your opinions in any of the paperwork because your opinions can be generated from, if your opinions are generated from the facts, recording the facts means you will have no problem at all generating an opinion, the same opinion later on if the facts are written down. Okay, it was like this. Okay, he did this wrong. She did that wrong. Da-da-da. You don't want to put opinions in there because it doesn't really matter in the long run. What matters is what happened. You can formulate opinions at any time from a certain set of facts, unless your own views change or maybe your judgment was clouded or something like that. And we're in the same boat with the AMD Zen. We can speculate all day, entertain ourselves to kingdom come with this sort of stuff. It doesn't replace the chip coming out and us seeing what it can actually do. Does it dethrone Intel? What Intel processors does it play head-to-head with? How's the efficiency? How's the gaming performance? How's the mathematical performance? How does the architecture work? Are there any hidden gremlins in the firmware? Nothing is going to replace the chip actually coming out. So I do apologize if folks think that me not getting caught up in this speculation rumor mill constitutes me no longer caring about the Zen, because I do, but I want to see what it can actually do. And I do have a Skylake machine, but the odds are, if the Zen can prove itself, maybe my next system will be powered by a Zen desktop processor. But because AMD is going for a high-end thing first, I have reason to believe the price is not going to be the AMD prices we've seen over the last couple of years. But when the Zen comes out, I can imagine, I'm sure the construction chip stuff like the 8350s will be absolutely rock bottomed out. So I'm very curious how cheap the classic combination of the AMD 8350 Sabertooth is going to get. It was, what, $150 for both processor and motherboard or something like that with Black Friday and whatnot? Let me go take a look real quick. Well, let's see here. 8350 Saber. It's not a good idea to do this with one hand. Tooth. Cha-ching. There's gotta be a Newegg Supercom. Oh, what do you know? Okay, I was a little bit off on that. $371 for an 8350. That is it, right? Yes, the Asus Sabertooth 990FX with the 8350. $371 for a super combo because it includes a RAM stick. Yeah, you're around the 300 even mark, roughly, with the retail prices and whatnot. So, 159, 160 and 180-ish. So, oh, fine, I'll bust out the freaking calculator to get it exact. 160 plus 180 equals 340. Closer to 350-ish. So, better off taking the discount to get a cheaper RAM stick from the matter. That gets you the current super combo on Newegg gets you an 8 gig 8350 Sabertooth motherboard kit, which you would then have to buy a case for and things like that. But I'm curious how much cheaper that's going to get when the Zen comes out and all the construction stuff becomes the new budget chips and things along those lines. But hey, there's always Core i3. You could always see what an i3 could do or something along those lines. Or, hey, buy an old i3 Haswell system and gut the thing and put it in its own case. Get a cheap Windows 10 license that way or something like that. No, I'm not entertaining fantasies of gutting that Lenovo box I got for Dad earlier this year. No. I'd get my own, thank you very much, or get him an upgrade. But he doesn't need an upgrade, he just does basic email stuff. Anywho, AMD Zen, not worth speculating over, because it's all going to go out the window the minute the chip actually launches. If I was like, ooh, the Zen, ooh, the Zen, ooh, the Zen, all I'd be doing is getting involved in the hype circus. And we've seen where that goes. With some disappointing product launches we've had over the years, hardware and software, I think I'll believe it when I see it. I'm sure the Zen will be a nice chip, but I want to actually see how it does in the real world. Not some hyped up pre-release, you better not say anything bad about the processor, or we're not going to let you review anything ever again, that sort of stuff. Once the NDAs are out of the way, and this thing is out in the wild, and all those first adopters have been the beta testers, if it's beta on release in any way, shape, or form, then we can properly talk about the Zen. But not now. The most anybody on YouTube can do right now, unless they've got some inside information and they're putting their job at risk or their media abilities, media access at risk or something like that. The most they can do is, what do we know for certain, instead of all this endless speculation and hype. I've got much more concrete and solid things that I could be focusing on right now than just what's the latest round of rumors about the AMD Zen. Quite frankly, I think I've wasted enough time. Like, what's the Zen gonna be like? What's the Zen gonna be like? There's stuff you can buy nowadays. You don't have to keep going nuts about that. So yeah, I do apologize if anyone takes aught with me skipping the Zen speculation, but I think it's the best course of action to take. There's certainly plenty of other things that I could be going nuts about or worrying about right now. Let's give that stuff the attention. This is MultimediaJay signing off. Thanks for stopping by.